Okay, so picture this. Deep inside Russia, the night sky just erupts into a colossal fireball. For hours, the ground shakes from secondary explosions so powerful that entire villages have to be evacuated. Now, this was no accident. This was a precision strike on an absolutely critical Russian military target. So today, we're going to break down exactly what happened, and you're not going to believe the ingenious, surprisingly low-tech weapon that was behind it all.
What you're looking at right here are images from the aftermath in the Volgograd region. We're talking hundreds of kilometers from the Ukrainian border. The sheer scale of this blast is, well, it's immense. And it signals a brand new and frankly dangerous phase in this conflict. See, this isn't just about making noise. It's about methodically taking apart a war machine from the inside out. All right, let's get specific. The target was the Kotlubin ammunition depot. Now, what's so important about this place? Well, it's not just some random warehouse. Think of it as a central artery for the Russian military, constantly pumping shells, rockets, and bullets to the front lines. Taking it out, that's like severing that artery. And to really understand how big of a deal this was, you have to know about the GRAU. This depot, it's one of theirs. The GRAU is basically the logistical backbone for all of Russia's heavy hitters, their missiles and artillery. So hitting one of their main supply hubs isn't just blowing up ammo, it's a direct punch to the command and control of Russia's entire arsenal. This was a genuine high-value target. The first explosion did exactly what it was meant to. It set off all the ammunition that was stored inside, which created this catastrophic chain reaction, a fire that just keeps feeding itself. The effect is absolutely devastating. It doesn't just destroy the stock on hand, it sends chaos rippling all the way down the supply chain. You've got troops at the front waiting for ammo that is literally never going to arrive. And listen, you'll want to stay till the end because I am going to reveal some truly shocking things about this situation. Let's get back to it. So that brings us to the million-dollar question. What kind of weapon could possibly do this? What has the range and the sheer power to reach that deep into Russia and hit so hard? Well, Ukraine's own general staff has confirmed it. It was their brand new, domestically produced weapon, and it has a nickname, the Flamingo. And this right here is where things get to be a true game changer. The reported range on this Flamingo missile is up to 3,000 kilometers. Just let that sink in for a second. That puts a massive part of Russian territory. We're talking key military bases, industrial centers, command hubs, all of it, within striking distance. The entire strategic map has just been redrawn. And it's not just the range. On top of that, it carries a huge warhead. We're estimating around 1,000 kilograms. So, we're not talking about a small drone strike here. No, this is a heavyweight punch. It's designed to completely obliterate major infrastructure, just like we saw happen at that depot. But here is the most mind-blowing number of them all. The estimated cost is only around $500,000 per missile. For a weapon with that kind of incredible range and destructive power, that price it's just astonishingly low. And why it's so low is really the key to this whole story. So this brings us to how they're built. Some people have started calling the Flamingo a junkyard missile, and honestly, that's not an insult. It's actually a massive compliment to its brilliant design. In a long, grinding war of attrition, being able to make weapons cheaply and in huge numbers, that can be way more important than having the fanciest, most expensive tech. So how in the world do you build a cruise missile on a budget? Well, you get very, very creative. The Flamingo is apparently built using parts you can get just about anywhere, not specialized military components. It's powered by older, off-the-shelf commercial jet engines, and that massive warhead? Get this, it's a repurposed, old Soviet-era aerial bomb. It's an absolutely genius way to get around sanctions and supply chain problems by just using what you already have. Now let's just put this into perspective for a second. Compare the Flamingo to something like a Western Tomahawk missile. A Tomahawk costs several $millions, and it's packed with complex, super high-tech parts that are hard to get. The Flamingo strategy is completely different. It's not about being the absolute best, it's about being good enough, and most importantly, being available in huge numbers. This is a weapon that is literally built for mass production. But, and this is a really big but, this is where the story takes a very sharp, very concerning turn. Because, look, having a brilliant design is one thing. Being able to actually build it at scale while you're in the middle of a full-blown war is a totally different challenge. And right now, Ukraine is facing a desperate race against time. And that warning is coming straight from the top. President Zelensky himself has said that the country's stock of these missiles is low. And why? Because a Russian strike successfully hit a key production line. Russia knows exactly how dangerous this weapon is, and you can bet they're actively hunting down every facility that builds them.
So this creates the central dilemma for Ukraine, right? They've developed this potential game changer, a weapon that could seriously alter the balance of the war. But a weapon like that is pretty useless if it only exists on paper or if you only have a handful of them. The capability's proven, sure, but can they actually produce it?
There are two massive hurdles standing in their way. First, the constant, relentless threat of Russian long-range missiles targeting any factory, any workshop that could possibly be involved. And second, just the money. Even at $500,000 apiece, building hundreds or thousands of these things requires a level of funding that is just a constant, brutal struggle to find. So we're left with this paradox. The Flamingo is, without a doubt, a triumph of engineering and wartime innovation. It proves that Ukraine has the skill to develop and use incredibly effective long-range weapons. But its final impact, its ability to actually change the course of this war, that now depends entirely on winning the battle of production.
And all of this leaves us with a really fundamental question about war today. Is victory won by the side with the most sophisticated, multi-million-dollar wonder weapons? Or does it belong to the side that can simply field more cost-effective, good enough weapons in overwhelming numbers? The story of the Flamingo really suggests that the answer is not so simple. So what do you think? In a modern war, what matters more? The high-tech edge or just sheer industrial capacity? I'm genuinely curious to hear your take, so let me know down in the comments. And hey, if you find these deep dives into what's really going on valuable, make sure to subscribe for the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the video that's coming up on your screen.